So we saw how Bharatanatyam can be used to understand spatial perception, movement, symbols through the use of Tevaram. Next, we'll see emotion. And again, this is very simplistic explanation. In Bharatanatyam, the emotions that we all feel have been systematized in in 9 broad ways. And these are called the Navarasas. Again, Nava means 9, Rasa means emotions. And these 9 rasas, as described many hundreds of years ago, are love, laughter, sorrow, anger, courage, fear, disgust, surprise, and peace. I talked a little bit about the texts that we use. One of these texts is called Abhinaya Darpana, which literally means the mirror of gestures, and it gives a detailed account of dance movements, expressions, then subtle nuanced ways to express these feelings. So, for example, minute movements of the eyes, of the eyebrows, of the lips can be used to show or emote a certain feeling in a certain narrative. And these hastas, so through the use of facial expressions and hastas, we use them for storytelling and to emote and to show feeling. We also talked about how these hastas are contextual. So Mukula hasta, which can be used to show a mouse, can be also used to show forgetting or confusion or an elephant's trunk. Pataka hasta can be used to show surprise at seeing your friend or disgust. Again, very different meanings. Same hasta, what changes is the context. And what is happening in the brain? Again, this is a subject of intense study for hundreds and hundreds of practitioners. Very simplistically speaking, we do know that a set of structures in the brain called the limbic system is associated with the expression of emotions. And we saw the Navarasas that had been systematized thousands of years ago. In more recent times, psychologists have also tried to understand, and this really tells us this drive to understand what makes us who we are. Why do we feel the way we do? Why do we feel a certain way in certain situations? And you might see some overlaps between this system that was put together many years ago and things that are more recent. Through personal experience, we know that memory plays a role as well. So we know that if we reacted a certain way to a certain situation in the past, that very strongly informs how we will react to it in the future. And again, there are so many other things. There's genetics, childhood experiences, our culture, the way we were raised, the way we were born, and language. The language that we use to express emotions can also change depending on our culture, depending on so many things. So, a very complex field of study. And today I will present a small padam. A padam is a short narrative piece. This one was written by a very famous Tamil poet about 100 years ago, whose name was Bharatiyar. He was a very prolific poet. He wrote hundreds of songs for a variety of things. For example, when India was gaining independence, he wrote a lot of songs around the independence movement. This particular song, this particular padam, the central character is a bee. So he's telling this bee, whose face or whose mouth has honey, and he's telling this bee to please give his message to Lord Shiva. And he's saying how, it's springtime, which works out for us because it's spring here as well. But it's spring, it's so clear, and the wind is so gentle, there's a gentle breeze. And the deer, the peacock, and the cuckoo bird, they're still hibernating. So if the bee could quickly go and give his message while all these other animals are still sleeping. He says how his love for Shiva is overflowing, and it's this presence of Shiva in his life is the only thing that's missing. And could this bee kindly, gently go give his message to Lord Shiva? Presenting Padam.